We believe it is our mission to protect and care for people and their environment every day. Pioneering future-focused cleaning and hygiene solutions. Trust the experts to select the best hygiene technology matching your site's challenges and your sustainability vision. Diversey, your global partner for responsible hygiene solutions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to the Diversey BW Hotelier GM Show Series, Season 4. We're into the second day of the second week and the last show of the week. Can you imagine 2 weeks are already gone? This is the 8th show. My sincere thanks to Diversey, our valued partner, for powering these leadership conversations season after season. They put their money where their mouth is, and they're backing this industry to the hilt. Thank you, Diversey. Season 4 carries a very powerful overarching theme, India at the hospitality inflection point, redefining excellence across every stage segment. I'm delighted to share that this season has opened with our strongest viewership yet. Thank you to our growing community of hoteliers, professionals, and hospitality leaders across India and beyond. Tonight's episode focuses on a critical growth engine for Indian hospitality, and the topic is MICE, Moments and Mega Events, powering India's conferencing economy. This is a great segment. No hotelier worth his salt or her salt can manage to stay alive without this. From global summits to destination weddings, from boardroom strategy meets to mega convention, India's meetings and events landscape is evolving rapidly, and our panel tonight represents some of the country's most accomplished MICE leaders and top general management talent. Let me get straight away into the show by introducing our valuable speakers. They're stalwarts, like I said, they're heroes. First in is Amit Kumar, who's the area manager north for ITC Welcome Hotels, and he's the general manager of the Sheraton New Delhi Saket. Welcome to the show, Amit.
Thank you, Bhuvnesh. Thank you for this opportunity.
And you're logging in from Chandigarh, where you're opening a brand new hotel tomorrow. Congratulations and all the best wishes from all of us
Thank
here.
you. Thank you so much.
And from Delhi to Chandigarh, all the way down to Kochi, Rajesh Ramdas, with whom I did a show for the first time in 2022. He had just flown in and taken on the role over here from Kathmandu. He's the general manager of the Grand Hyatt Kochi, Bolgati. Welcome to the show, Rajesh. You share a name with my late father.
Thank you very much for having me over. It's a pleasure to be on the show once again.
Such a pleasure. Shubhankar Bosch, who was in Kerala, he's now in Hyderabad. He's the general manager of the Sheraton Hyderabad Hotel. Welcome to the show, Shubhankar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khanna. This is a great platform, and this is my third season, I think, with you. And every time it has been a different city for me. So
I know. Can you imagine?
Very much from Hyderabad, and extreme, warm wishes to everyone on the panel. Thank you very much for having me over.
Thank you so much. Next in is Mr. Sameer Sood, who's the general manager of the Leela Mumbai. Sameer ji, welcome to the show.
Thank you, and pleasure always. Good to be back again. Thank you, and good evening to everyone.
Next in is the lady of our show, Neha Chabda, who's the general manager of the Sofitel Mumbai BKC. She's moved in from Goa to Mumbai. Welcome to the show, Neha.
Thank you so much, Bhuvnesh. Third time around, different cities all together. So
Can you imagine?
Yeah, from Goa to Bangalore and now in the city of Mumbai. So lovely to be with my fellow colleagues and you on this fantastic show on a Friday evening.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. Last but not the least, Goa boy in Delhi, right now in Goa, Gaurav Apte. He's a marathon runner, even though he broke his leg, but he's back to doing what he loves most, running. And he's the area general manager, Southwest Asia, and general manager, Crown Plaza today, Gurugram. Welcome to the
Good
show,
evening.
Gaurav.
Good evening, Bhuvnesh. Good evening, panelists. And it's a pleasure to be on this show again. Thank you for having me over.
Pleasure, pleasure. How many years in Gurugram?
2 years almost in Gurugram. Yeah,
All right. So you're quite a local now.
absolutely.
All right, great. So without much ado, I won't stand between the show and you people. Let's get rolling with the first question. Amit, are you ready? Can we get rolling with you?
Yes, Bhuvnesh, all set, go.
All right, there you are. Delhi
And
NCR.
what a topic, actually, what a topic you got at this point of time in Delhi, when the entire city is buzzing with AI Summit. It just got over yesterday. And I'm sure all my fellow colleagues will agree. Delhi was completely packed with mice and of course, with high occupancy for last 5 days.
You know, the
So
good thing
fantastic
about
timing.
the good thing about our Prime Minister is he's doing such mega events. He did the G20 all over the country. He's doing
Yeah.
this. Expect a lot from him. He,
And you'll be surprised that even ITC was part of the entire
I
catering at
know,
Bharat Mandapam.
I know. All of
So
them
yeah,
were there. Yeah. So, Amit, tell me,
yeah.
Delhi NCR remains India's largest corporate and conference market. How are you driving MICE growth while balancing room yields and event profitability?
Thank you, Bhuvnesh, once again. I think this is one of my favorite topic. I would say MICE is something which is a bread and butter for every hotelier as of now and in every hotel general manager. And Delhi, yes, indeed. Delhi NCR, if I can say, remains the India largest corporate and conference market in terms of MICE, which is driven by government, which is driven by ministerial, embassy, trade association, okay, related to events, talking about pharma, talking about PSUs, tech. We just spoke about AI Summit. So I think it's big in Delhi, and especially after of course, Aerocity is there for long, but then now coming at Yashobhumi, which is at Dwarka. Which is in West Delhi. I think the entire market in adding Gurgaon Manesa corporate cluster, I think everything is, the entire MICE market has boomed in Delhi, and definitely it'll be right to say it's the in the largest, one of the largest, or say largest in the country. In term of, I would say, demand, in demand of market, in term of MICE corporate demand in Delhi, it definitely moves from, in term of summer and winter clearly. The throughput is divided between summer MICE and winter MICE. Also, the days of the week, how does a day of the week like from Monday to Thursday, generally you have a corporate conference because, of course, the corporate would like to relax on the weekend. Then, of course, the residential conference is there on the weekend with a better package deal, what we do at the business hotel. So, in terms of demand, there are huge demand which comes from different areas. In terms of segment, we can, as I said initially, ministries, PSU, of course, pharma, residential potential, and though they are bit of rate, I would say sensitive, but these are the segment which actually helps Delhi to grow the MICE segment. Banquet, as I said, is the bread and butter. Mostly the monetization of banquet, what we do is, how do we ensure that a corporate who has a very lean budget, how do we work on their menus? How do we ensure that a leaner menu becomes thicker, by adding something like a thematical, high tea or in terms of cocktails. How do we ensure we do a theme cocktail for them, different experience, curating experiences. Of course, beverage is one of the highest selling for the MICE segment. So these are the areas where we ensure that how do we monetize our banquet revenue for the hotel. Looking into all, of course, yield is very important. Talking about yield, we also ensure that the number of days, how do we ensure keeping the MICE in terms of layering the business, whether it is a lean period, whether it's a day of the week, whether it is, month, festivity. ensuring that all our days, which is demand days, are actually laid with mice, and that's something how we do our yield optimization in hotels. But let me tell you, Bhuvnesh, on all these things, what I just spoke about will not give any benefit till the time we have the relationship. And I feel relationship selling is the most important part in MICE or any business. So I'll tell you, give you a simple example in ITC. I mean, and I'm sure this will be for every hotel. Our top 50 guests for whether it is corporate or for MICE is on a direct dial of GM or head of sales. So that relationship building actually helps in order to get the repeat business. And at Sheraton New Delhi, I would say our 60% of MICE or corporate are repeat. And on top of that, our loyalty program. So whether it is Club ITC, what we have currently, we also started giving loyalty points for every MICE and corporate events, what we do in the hotel, including weddings. So initially, which was only for rooms. So we, in fact, from last year, we also started giving points, and of course, the loyalty points add to the relationship building with a complete MICE agent, the corporates. So I think all these things put together, I think it's a great future for Delhi in terms of MICE.
I couldn't agree with you more. So you started off with what's happening, the AI summit. AI summit kal khatam ho gayi hai?
Kal more or less it's wrapped up, yeah.
Acha, I thought it was going to be.
But you have a shoulder day today also, tomorrow, yeah.
Okay,
But
great.
the main event was on 18th, 19th.
All right. Thank you so much. This is valuable. Let me walk across to you, Rajesh. Tell me, Grand Hyatt Kochi Bolgati has emerged as a destination for large format events. How do you position Kochi as a serious MICE contender against metro cities? It may not be the state capital, but it surely is the financial nerve center of Kerala.
Absolutely. Now, since the inception of the hotel way back in 2018, there was always a drive to promote the destination, but more so after COVID in 22, we stepped it up and we said that it's not just a hotel that we speak about, it's the city and what you can do in the city. Notwithstanding that the inventory that is required to drive large mice into the city requires hotels that are nearby, and we are lucky to have good sets of hotels that have ample inventory. So large ones in terms of 1,000 people coming into the city started happening somewhere towards the end of 22, 23. And then now it's standard format that associations of a 6,000 doctors coming in for an event, for a 3-day event, which almost amounts to about 32,000 covers over those 3-4 days, happens easily. And the plus is that people have seen a lot of large format hotels in cities, in metro cities, which does not have the greenery, which does not have the waterways that you see as you drive down from the airport. And when you come into this resort property, which is just about a bridge away from the main city, the whole beauty unfolds that you don't have to be restricted to a structure as such, which is a box hotel. So that's been one of the biggest advantages, and it's led to a lot of corporates coming back year on year. We've got strategy meets happening, we've got R&R happening, we've got retreats happening, and there are also the big corporates who bring in their CEOs for a yearly sort of retreat. So, with us positioning this hotel as a MICE destination, it's also brought in the wedding segment, which wasn't there before. Now, wedding is very tricky because they've been used to the north and the west side of India, where mostly all the weddings happen. So the ones who came into us initially could not believe that there is a hotel that is so beautiful, which is surrounded with water all over, and you've got a view from every single room. So what happened was that the apprehension of coming into Kerala and the cuisine being not to what they expect was laid to rest, because we had all the chefs that we brought in from different parts of India, and the food that a Marwadi guest who would want, or a Jain guest who would want, was done to the best of our ability, and that brought back a lot of regular guests for weddings per se within the families that came in here, and word of mouth as well. Having 80,000 plus square feet of covered area as banquet was the game changer for sure, because that gave us the ability to do city sold out events, doctor conferences or associations. Mice also became a regular format, and especially the large ones. The plus being that it's not just limited to that. We also do the leisure part very well now, because it's an island resort and it is not just a convention center. It's purpose built that way. It really helps to sort of further the cause. In terms of weddings, and especially weddings from outside, we've got a lot of queries that have come in, and quite a few that have happened from UAE, US, UK, Australia, Canada. So these are not the large format ones, but slightly smaller, very quaint, and they come for the experience of the land. Kerala, with the cultural aspect that is always there, beckons them. They come in, they want very specific things which we deliver, and then again it's word of mouth that they come back again. Interspersed with the experience of the traditional welcome, the dance forms that they see when we welcome them out in the porch area, the cultural nuances of the snake boat race, or the tug of war that we make the families do or the corporates do. Then, of course, the traditional sadhya, which people have not experienced many a times, because they've gone to a lot of other hotels and they know what happens over there. So this becomes the biggest game changer for us, and whenever somebody wants a fresh perspective or something different, when they come here, then it's hook, line, and sinker for them.
True.
Thank you.
So hoteliers, when I hear all of you, hospitality is all about storytelling and creating events and ambience where people soak in because they want to break away from their day-to-day mundane existence,
Absolutely.
right? And you guys take them to another level.
The main thing is that should there be more connectivity, life becomes much more easier.
Yeah.
The beta cities where even if it's a Raipur or if it is even a Kolkata, if there is connectivity, life becomes better. Off late, yes, people do take charter planes and come in for weddings, but
Are you
yes, I
serious?
hope it improves.
They take charter planes for a wedding.
Absolutely. We've got so many guests who come in with charters, as in they negotiate with the Indigos or the Spice Jets of the world, and they come in with charters for sure.
So these are
We've got a
destination
business jet
weddings.
terminal in Kochi because of the number of charters that have started coming in.
Oh my. And I'm stupidly negotiating for one ticket. All right.
I'm sure you're paying a higher amount for it now.
For sure. Must be. Thanks a pile, Rajesh.
Pleasure.
Shubhankar, another Kochi boy now, Kochi's export to Hyderabad. Tell me, Hyderabad is fast becoming a convention powerhouse. Hyderabad is cracking
Absolutely.
big time. What differentiates Sheraton Hyderabad in a city crowded with large hotels?
Right, Ms. Khanna, I think I'm very happy to actually talk about Hyderabad, but I was actually going back to my days in Kochi because Rajesh just weaved a lovely story about how things were actually in Kochi, and especially the cultural aspect. But I'm again fortunate coming to Hyderabad. There's a lot of culture aspect also, which is related to the heritage, as well as the new the changes that are happening in Hyderabad, and especially with the three cuisines that are very famous here. So we definitely have a lot to talk about, which is the Rayalaseema, the Andhra, and also the Telangana cuisine, which is amazing thing. Coming back to Hyderabad, I think Hyderabad was actually one of the front runners if you talk about MICE, because the Hyderabad International Convention Center, which way back was one of the biggest convention center actually in India, and could actually place Hyderabad to that world map of conventions. I think going from from that direction, Hyderabad has been always been a growth story. But what happened in the past 5 to 6 years, and especially in the last 4 years, we are seeing more number of convention centers coming up. For Sheraton Hyderabad, if I really have to say, Sheraton Hyderabad, the biggest advantage point is our location, and that has only become more and more relevant because the kind of growth that is happening in and around the financial district. We are actually at the heart of the Gachibowli financial district, and that is where the maximum IT boom is actually taking place. Apart from that, there is a lot of pharma, development, which was already known pretty much for Hyderabad. There are all big pharma companies which are, developing. Hyderabad is also the second largest growth, city for the global capability centers. Now that is giving a big, boost to the kind of movements that are happening, the kind of MICE demand that is actually increasing in Hyderabad. So if I look at Sheraton Hyderabad, the biggest vantage point is its location in and around the IT and the growth corridor, that is the outer ring road. We are the closest from the outer ring road and about 30 minutes from the airport. Again, around 20 minutes to 25 minutes from the convention centers which are in and around us, including the Hyderabad International Convention Center. Apart from that, the way we are actually, giving a lot of importance to our customers at the hotel. We understand various needs of the kind of customers that are choosing to stay at our hotels. Definitely, there are the amount of growth that is coming from these IT and pharma and all other sectors in Hyderabad. The hotel choosing a hotel is actually becoming not that difficult because there are that many hotels at this point of time. In the next 3 to 4 years time, we have a lot of new hotels which are coming up, but from that perspective, next 3 years is going to be a massive advantage for us to really place our ADR, our RevPAR growth, and looking at the customer engagement and the high level of customer appreciation that we need to actually drive and preference that we need to drive here.
Thank you. Thank you. That was very detailed. How well have you taken to Hyderabad?
Very well. In fact, I've been very much, enjoying the culture here. The food is amazing, although it is on the spicier side, but it's amazing here.
It is no Andhra cuisine is very spicy, but it's truly cosmopolitan.
It is, and in fact, the infrastructure development is amazing.
So there is
it
no
is
parallel.
there is no parallel actually, and it's the best part of this city is that the infrastructure, comes ahead of time. So it
True.
is easier for the growth to actually take
And
place in terms of.
Gachibowli and Electronic City are testament to that. Thank you, Shubhankar. Sameerji,
you.
over to you. Tell me, you're in the kind of aero city that Delhi has for Mumbai. May not be as compact and as organized and linear as the aero city in Delhi, but yeah, something like that. Airport hotels are now prime MICE venues. How do you convert transient traffic into high value event business?
So, Bhuvnesh, since you mentioned about the Aero City, interestingly, I was speaking to our senior vice president operations last week, and we were having a review, and we were discussing the luxury hotels in the vicinity.
Yeah.
And then we started calculating. You'll be surprised that this comp set or this primary comp set has more rooms than Aero City in luxury segment by almost 25% more. So, having said that, while being close to the airport is always an advantage, which we enjoy, but we always call ourselves as a resort style business hotel. So that being an advantage, the transient business and our corporate business gives us a lot of mice. We have an advantage that if you're going to do a luxury, if you want to do a high level meetings with us, board meetings, team meetings or anything, delegates flying in, it becomes easier because you're close to the airport, so that time is saved. We have recently renovated a ballroom, Bhuvnesh, since we met last time while you were here. I think next time you're here, you must see our ballroom. So that's another thing which we have done.
I will next time, Pakka.
And the great advantage we have is that we are able to convert our corporate relationships and the dining relationships into meeting rooms, which gives us a lot of business. I think everybody agreed on the panel that it's a large chunk of business which any hotelier cannot choose to ignore. Now, with all the facilities we have, 11 acres of space with us and 5 dining options, we are able to provide an experience. So while airport, being close to the airport is only an advantage, after that you have to deliver what is required with the customers, which we are able to do it. And that gives us an advantage. Our relationship with the corporate, corporate MICE leaders, everything helps us quite a lot of, business being brought in. The legacy of the hotel for the last 38 to 40 years and having, done best of the events helps us bring that business. So it becomes much more easier to, convert this business again and again, which keeps coming back to us as a repeat business.
Yeah. So, and also you are right where the action is, in the sense, not just with your location, but you're at the cross section. एक तरफ आपका अंधेरी कुर्ला रोड हो गया, आपका airport हो गया. So you're picking the best of both the locations, and you have a separate entrance for MICE. So you don't disturb the hotel per se, which is true actually of most hotels now.
Absolutely. And as I said, being for us being the first movers advantage in this area, we have a lot of space for parking and the outdoor events also, while it permits, when the weather permits. So that helps. And then there are dining options. So even if you're having a small meeting, let's say if your board meeting is happening and you do not want to have, you do not want to have food where you're having a meeting, we give you 5 different options. You can go to specialty restaurant.
And we forget the open spaces.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry?
We forget the open spaces. It's so open and spread out.
That's one advantage we have, because today if somebody is to find that kind of an area or that kind of a land here, it is going to be very, very difficult.
Impossible in Mumbai.
That's right. So that's again an advantage.
Parallel you have is maybe Western Powai.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Thank you, Sameerji.
Yes, there's much more over there if you were to travel that side.
True.
But having said that, with all the other hotels which have come up in the vicinity, it's again a help for large events, because and if one hotel cannot, a lot of spillover comes to us from
absolutely
from big conventions that happen in the city.
You have to.
So this always helps. Actually, it helps the industry per se as such.
Thank you, Sameerji. Next one is Neha. When I was doing this show, I was speaking to Neha, and we got discussing. I gave her various options, and we decided on doing MICE and all for this show. You remember, Neha?
Absolutely. Because I said no to some other one, because I said that's not my business.
So we said, look, MICE is extremely important, MICE and events. So Neha, taking from that, Sofitel in BKC was the first luxury hotel.
Indeed.
Right? So luxury business hotels must balance elegance with efficiency. How do you deliver emotional experiences in high pressure corporate environments with an eye on MICE and events?
So you rightly said we were the first luxury hotel, and we just celebrated 14 years of the Sofitel on the 1st of February. So yeah, so that's been 14 years. Since everybody spoke about the city, I would like to say that consistency is the key for big events, Bhuvnesh. And with a world-class facility like the Geo World Convention Center, which has come up in BKC, the landscape is changing. We are getting not regular MICE events or pharma events. We are getting multinational, international events, people who are planning for events in 2030, 2035. Yesterday, I did a show around for a company where they do events in Australia and the US, and they have come to India and chosen Mumbai for their event in 2030. So that's the kind of messaging I think that is going with the luxury, with the consistency, the service that we provide in India. And that comes from all of us who are on this panel, who work day in and day out to give that kind of experience. And we do that with a lot of stuff. And I think everybody spoke about how they're curating menus, how they are doing the service. But in a high performance hotel where we are so dependent on mice, so dependent on volume, so dependent on conventions. Consistency is the key. You cannot do anything about that. It's non-negotiable. Luxury is not about excess over here, it's about intelligence. Intelligence, emotional, delivered with precisions. It is not about how much grandeur, how many 50 dishes you give in the menu. It is about reassurance. It's about a frictionless state totally. It's about I don't need to stress of how to even connect to my internet. It needs to be all very, very methodologically crafted, as if we were all directors in a movie and all our team members are just working in all the kiosks, but keeping their calm. I think that's what luxury is all about. That is all about the key that we're doing to elevate the performance so that people get that kind of confidence that hotels can deliver experiences even in the kind of volumes that they do. So emotional connect, intent, context, and even empowering the teams becomes very, very important when you're doing events like how Amit May mentioned and Rajesh mentioned, Shubhankar, the kind of volumes, you cannot be there everywhere. And that's when empowering teams and where teams know that they don't need to follow a script, but they themselves are the actors in that. That's what makes the difference. And at the end, when the team goes back, they may not remember Grand Hyatt Kochi or they may not remember Sheraton Hyderabad, but they'll remember what that hotels made them feel or what the Sofitel Mumbai made them feel for that very small thing.
And also, with the Geo Convention Center being there, which is, of course, one of the largest ones, and for a place like Mumbai, the guests feel reassured when they have wonderful hotels like yours to lean on.
Yeah, so
And I'm
luxury is
told,
reassurance now.
so tell me, do you have to at all sell the hotel? No.
We have to sell the hotel, really.
ना
We
ना
do.
मेरा
Oh,
ख्याल है
do.
लाइन लगा के खड़े होते होंगे लोग
एकदम नहीं, you need to start attending my revenue meetings then, but absolutely not. But we work very cohesively, and I think all of us hoteliers we want that accessibility becomes more easy for everybody. In fact, there have been a conversation with big conferences and events where instead of moving from one city to another and reinventing the wheel, they're looking at choosing one city so that for the next 10 years, everybody knows that this is the city where this event will happen, which helps in planning. And that's what is happening at the Geo World and in the BKC. Like the Global FinTech conferences has now happened 3 years in a row. The dates are already announced, so people know well in advance to plan. So I think that's the level of consistency that we are getting into hotels.
Thank you, Neha. That's valuable. From Mumbai to Gurgaon via Goa, क्राउन प्लाजा गुड़गांव क्या बोलते हैं उसको तुम्हारा वो टुडे किधर चला गया क्राउन प्लाजा गुरुग्राम सो हाँ हाँ वो
That's right. Today, Gurugram. Yep.
Today Gurugram. So I think I missed the today. So tell me, your hotel is synonymous with large conferences. I know where it is located. I know how it is at the right cross section of Gurgaon. What operational disciplines are essential to execute mega events flawlessly? You've been here for a while and you lord over a large territory, but tell us more about this hotel and the business per se.
Sure. So for everybody to know, this is a 18-year-old hotel. So it has, gone through a lot of changes over time, but still it feels very new to the way we've kept the hotel. And, a place which has a big ballroom as well as around 15 breakout rooms. So I think what we try and do clearly shows in our 4 pillars that we believe in. And the first is for everything, you need to have your plans and processes in place or SOPs in place. You should not leave anything to chance. So the more you keep on, fine tuning things at regular intervals, that's going to reflect in the service standards that you have. I think the second most important thing, and I'm going to take a little bit cue from Neha's movie or an act. I would rather call it a cross-functional orchestra, where every department is like a note that you have to play, and if somebody doesn't go and sing, then it doesn't sound well. So I think, all the departments we have, whether it's sales, banquets, culinary, engineering, IT, security, front office, we all need to kind of find our note right and then have a beautiful song. So that is something that we really focus on. Another important thing which everybody now is relying on is technology. I think as you grow, you need to adapt it. And the way you adapt it is shown in what you do for your conferences. So, to give you an example, we recently had the regional India, Middle East, and Africa GM's conference. That was the first time we got it back after 7 years to India, and which we had done a 90 feet LED screen inside the ballroom, which everybody thought was, unique. We covered the entire swimming pool with LED screens to make it into a Bollywood floor and to showcase our Bollywood, part to the India, Middle East, Africa team members. So I think right from the digital, visual impact that you have when you enter the hotel till the time when you're actually doing video conferencing, the internet, getting a broadband line in for your virtual meetings, I think it plays a very important role. And the fourth and the most important thing is identify your guest journey touch points. So anybody who's worked with me knows for a fact that I will go right from the time the first sales call had been made to the hotel till the time the guest leaves, and there is a follow-up call or a survey that goes to the guest mentioning that, please let us know how your event at the hotel was. So I think it's more in terms of how you can manage the entire event as if it's your own function that you're having at home, giving that personal touch, ensuring that every single aspect is well taken care of. And at the end of it, operational excellence is not about firefighting. It's about foresight and how you can plan well. And that is what, creates a unique identity for yourself and for this hotel.
Hospitality, I mean, from a hotel, standalone hotel standpoint, is an orchestra. Like you said, you play different notes, so you're not in sync, you're gone. Right. So it is completely, everybody has to play in tandem, and you're the boss, you're the maestro. So I think you've also got to orchestrate them well. Thank you so much. And that brings us to the halfway point. I'll take a 30-second break and circle back. Thank you, Gaurav.
Thank you so much.
At Diversey, we believe it is our mission to protect and care for people and their environment every day. Pioneering future-focused cleaning and hygiene solutions. Trust the experts to select the best hygiene technology matching your site's challenges and your sustainability vision. Diversey, your global partner for responsible hygiene solutions.
So I'm back 21 minutes to closure, and we'll try and time it within that. So I've had a invigorating session, a lot of learning. These 6 questions that got responses, they kept me thinking of what all we can do together in this industry. I shall go to Amit. Amit, tell
Yes.
me, what are these invisible practices? One moment, sorry, something happened. One moment here. Yeah. Oh God, what happened? I got a call, so I have to just switch off. Sorry for this. Some confusion. Okay. Just hang on one moment. Whatever happened? My script is gone. Let me come to one moment. Sorry for this mess up. Yeah. Hopefully it should be here soon. Something happened. My documents got corrupted. One moment. Yeah, Amit, tell me, what
Yes, Bhuvnesh.
visible back-end practices ensure seamless delivery during high-volume conferences?
Okay, so I think was hearing all the colleagues, and I think what you're saying. I think most of the part is already been covered. I think in term of this more talk about our execution part. I in my first question, or the first interaction, I spoke about what about the demand in Delhi NCR, and all everything actually boils down to how do you ensure that the demand and the lead is actually executed well. So of course, whether whether you talk about what you do at the background, I think it's all talk about how do you ensure that your SOPs, or we call WP in ITC hotels. So it's like how do we ensure
What is
that your
WP?
SOPs are well in place?
Or what is WP?
Is welcome procedure we call, which is same as
Acha,
SOP.
acha.
And so how do we ensure that our SOP is in place, whether it's right discipline in terms of following the checklist for any large event what we have planned, whether it is flow of event. So of course the lead comes to sales, and then from sales it get handed over to the events, and how the event team takes the detailing, and I'm sure all the colleagues will agree, that's very, very critical. Because sometimes if the detailing is missed, the entire kiosk can happen at the floor, on the shop floor. So how do we ensuring that detailing is not missed, and it is taken into details? And then how do we ensure that from event, the team passes that detailing to the operation team? So that entire stage is very critical to execute any large or any event to that per se, I would say. So starting with the discipline of our SOP, or following the right checklist. Of course, this is a very old and traditional way, but then I think it still works. Is in most of the hotels we do banquet pre-con, which we do every. I would say for every event we do 48 hour in advance and go through every event detailing. Whether it is menu, whether it is operations, whether it's guest details, preferences, XYZ, and of course we have something called BO, which is banquet event order. So all these things which is discussed during that pre-con, and that pre-con is not only for the banquet operation, it's also include department like engineering, department like housekeeping, department like all the back of the house where there is a support required, including IT. And there is a proper, as Gaurav mentioned about orchestra, so everyone has to function, everyone has to do their job. So for example, if there's a large conference starting at 9, okay, someone from engineering has to be there at 8 o'clock to ensure that everything is fine. Somebody from housekeeping is there at 7, that everything is fine. So it's a complete team effort and commitment, what I feel is required to ensure that the event is done flawlessly and it's executed very well.
In short, what Gaurav
Having
was saying is the orchestra part of it.
Exactly. So of course, if banquet manager does one thing, and for example, engineering or IT doesn't do, or for example, there is a requirement for a large IT setup, and the IT person turns out at 10 instead of 9, everything goes for a toss. So I'm just giving an example, but it's every department plays a very vital role for an event, whether it is small, whether it is large.
Couldn't agree
But
with you.
also, yeah. And also on top of that, there are a few instances where you'll have a real time troubleshooting. Sometime could happen. We are expecting an event of 500, and all of a sudden you have 700 people turn out. It happens in many of the event. Sometime we always have a leeway of 10% or 15%, but when the number goes 25, 30% more, then how do we ensure the production team comes together? And of course the produce
And
has to
pulls
be
it
made,
off.
the food has to be made, the food has to be made. So I'm talking about even sometime when you plan everything, there will be a
Things
real
may
time
not go to
troubleshooting,
script.
which exactly, which goes against the script.
Yeah.
And then how do you manage that situation is the complete teamwork, and that's called the troubleshooting, the real time when you are there on the floor and something like this happens. and ensuring that that part is executed well. It's a complete team need to come together and say, okay, fine, we'll do it. I think that's
Thanks,
something that is
Amit,
important.
I'll have to move to the next. We have just 15 minutes and 4 questions. 5 questions.
Definitely.
All right. Thank you. Sorry for this, but this is very, very valuable. It's
Thank
like
you.
Gaurav and Amit have been saying, everybody has to play their part to perfection, and every note has to be in sync. Thanks a pile, Amit. Rajesh,
Thank
tell
you.
me, how do you build emotional resonance into large destination weddings and conferences? Your hotels is known for these large weddings. I mean, the fat Indian wedding.
Now, the storytelling of what is possible and is unique to our sort of picturesque island resort, it almost becomes a no-brainer when the prospective guest comes to the hotel. So that first recce is what defines it and how do they feel. It starts right from the airport all the way to the welcome, the warm welcome that happens, and then of course the sequence of looking at the hotel and seeing the facility. Uh, the other part being the food tasting. Now, food tasting is one that makes it or breaks it for hotels, and especially if it's a destination wedding for the client, it is that food that makes it happen because without that, it will not work. Other than that, of course, the hotel and its setting, the way it is built, makes the biggest difference. The service also makes the biggest difference. The curation of the experience in the form of arrival, the welcome that I spoke of earlier, the customized amenities which they will remember, the localized experiences, and of course the culinary spread, which is not limited to Indian alone and it's international fare, which a lot of guests want. Uh, they want the cultural aspects which is to be incorporated, and that becomes very unique because, as I said before, a lot of people have experienced weddings in different parts of India. More so, it could be the north, it could be the west, and now when they come to south, a lot of people are not sure what to expect. What they see surprises them, other than the hotel, from an aspect of food and the cultural element. From a colleague standpoint, because they are the ones, as said by all the panelists, it's the colleagues, it's the departments that come together and work together that makes the biggest difference. I think us as a team here, the legacy that's been there over the last 4 years and what we've set as expectation, and people are sure that they will get it, that really weighs a lot heavy on the shoulders because we've done it time and again. And when it's a season, it's 4 months and it's relentless. So people know that we have to do it, and it comes together when service delivery happens, when the quaint small experiences are looked after. It is also working together to make it successful and memorable, that they will always remember you for what you did and what was beyond the scope and how did you accommodate. That makes the biggest difference, and the ease of doing business. It is a norm that in this hotel we've got guests coming back as leisure guests after they come for a conference or a wedding, and then of course, because they feel that closeness in spite of it being a large format hotel, the closeness and the connect that the colleagues make happen on a regular basis. I think colleagues make the biggest difference. A building is a building. If everyone comes together and they feel for it, that's the biggest difference that happens here. And I think we do that in Bountiful.
I couldn't agree with you more. You're going to be, like I keep saying in every show, you're going to be as good as the people you have.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so I think talent picking, talent development is your prime role. I think that's your biggest role.
Yes.
Don't
It
worry
is.
about the revenue. Don't worry about anything else. Keep doing the right things and get the right people. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Rajesh.
Absolutely.
Shubhankar, I'm back to you. I want to pick your mind on what metrics matter most today in MICE beyond revenue. Uh, in terms of how you plan it, how you execute it, and how you carry it through. Shubhankar, are you there? Shubhankar, you're on mute.
Oops, that's
Don't worry. I dropped it yesterday. You dropped it today. Don't worry.
So yes, So we all agree to the orchestration that we have to do, and to ensure that every minute detail is very well articulated and and executed right in the right fashion. And finally, the most important metrics is actually how the guests who are attending, how the guests who are staying with us during a conference is actually feeling, right, how they are excited about the event and how they finally leave. So the most important aspect is about the brand reputation. At the end of the day, it is the reputation which will bring more and more guests to the hotel. And in today's time, if I look at it, most of the event planners, most of the corporates who are doing MICE and events, they have a system of guest satisfaction in their own way, right? And they actually take those feedback, they take those metrics, and then decide whether this particular city or this particular hotel has actually done it very well. So for all of us, I think it will be most important aspect that the reputation of the hotel and the facility that we have provided is actually at the top. And then comes the guest satisfaction automatically, which is very important. We also need to understand that the entire team, how we start the tone, right from the beginning, how Rajesh has also explained that it actually starts from the initial conversation with the sales and marketing is having with our event planners and the customer, and how we are able to orchestrate the entire site inspection. In Marriott, we call it the wow site inspection, which starts with really setting the tone, giving that experience right in the beginning, and then start following this till the end of the particular event. So it's very important that we really focus all of it to make sure that the reputation is at the top, the guest experience is at the top, and then we start getting the repeat business and getting more and more such events at the hotel.
Well, absolutely well said. Absolutely well said. I must tell you, I was going to ask Sameer ji a question. Uh, it was about grooming teams to handle both luxury guests and large delegate volumes simultaneously. Yesterday, while I was doing the show, uh, one of the general managers, I got a message, I must leave. There is very, very important VIP movement. I said, Kya hua? And the former US Secretary of State had arrived at the hotel, right? मैं क्या करूं? She's just come in, I must leave. And we were barely 5 minutes. So the general manager somehow managed and wriggled through the show. But that is part and parcel of your job. क्यों समीर जी? So आपने question सुन लिया. How do you groom teams to handle both luxury guests and large delegate volumes simultaneously? Hospitality, your large hoteliers are purposed to handle large events, large MICE events, large weddings, VVIPs, and super luxury events.
So, Bhuvnesh, for us, luxury and scale is not opposing forces, but just a test of our leadership and commitment.
How well said.
So, what we do is we train our people to, consistently perform. We do the drills, we train them well, SOPs are strong, the Leela culture of luxury and delivery is strong. And we don't tell our teams to anticipate that, there is going to be a large volume coming. We tell them to expect it or anticipate it. And that's how we train them. So this helps. And, as everybody said, the delivery across different departments, as long as it is seamless, we can deliver anything. And one of something very interesting came to my mind when you were narrating about yesterday's incident is that we are part of different hoteliers group. A very senior hotelier mentioned about AI conference which is going on in Delhi. That there was something which happened there, and everybody was talking about it that was not managed well on the first day. So he mentioned that you should have given it to the hoteliers. We are so well groomed or so well anticipating to manage these large events. So hoteliers actually
I couldn't
anticipate
agree with you
every
more.
aspect of big events, luxury, small events, delivery. And I think every hotelier thrives on these situations when something important comes to you, whether it is ex head of state or a delegate like the general manager to leave, unfortunately, but you got to receive him. or whether it's a large delegation. I think the steps are taken so well in advance and prepared. And I think Amit mentioned about pre-con meeting, which is a standard everywhere. So every step is thought about, practice, managed. So it helps us, whether it is a small event, individual coming in, head of state coming in, or large event. I think it's easy to deliver because we prepare for it. I think, and preparation is the goal, and training people regularly. So that's what our philosophy is, and we believe very strongly that whether it is a small event or whether it's a big event, everybody should get the Leela standards what they are expected out of us, and we deliver that again and again.
I don't know what nerves you're made of, but surely general managers have nerves of steel with the kind of, and this is your daily routine. हर रोज वीआईपी, हर रोज शादी, हर रोज माइस, मतलब मैं तो टेंशन में ही मर जाऊं.
But practice is so often that it becomes a part of your system. I think we thrive on it actually. I think
I was hearing
all of us miss it
Amit,
when it's not there. We are the happiest when the hotels are busy actually, and now is
no,
the right
you
time
are,
actually
you
to
are,
have this event while everybody's so busy.
yeah. So I mean, you're groomed to handle this kind of scale and stress. Thank you so much, Amit sir. Neha, organizing such large events, be it weddings or mice or whatever, there's so much of wastage and my heart bleeds. Tell me, what role does sustainability now play in corporate events and conferences? I mean, to think about sustainability is you have to go back in time when we used to give back Coca-Cola empty bottles to get refills, or selling our newspaper to kabadis. You have to think like a miser. Am I right, gentlemen?
We are back to that age. We are back to recycling. We are
We
exactly
may be back to that age, but the youngsters are not.
Yeah, but sustainability in fact is a top topic that is on its own for one of your evenings. That but for events, there was a time when we used to add it in our banquet proformas, or when we were sending a contract as a footnote that we are a sustainable hotel and we follow all of this. It is now that time is over. It is no longer a checkbox. It is now every company wants to tell a story, and they have a story of their own, and their story and your story needs to match together. That's when the marriage will happen. They want to understand that you are walking the talk. There is so much of awareness and informed decision making that corporate events are not only judged by scale or spectacle, but by intention. You do a big event and you put plastic bottles, there'll be one journalist who will take that photo of that plastic bottle and say, oh, what are they talking about?
And your story is cooked.
And your story is cooked. So, as not only at the Sofitel, where we have our Green Key certification, we were the first hotel, in fact, to get it, and we renew it year after year. There are loads of certifications, which I think every hotel has it. And that's an important health check. But that needs to be delivered on a day-to-day basis, because it it needs to be a part of life. It cannot interrupt the experience. It needs to elevate it. It needs to feel light. It needs to feel smarter. It needs to feel what the future holds. It is a major decision making factor, and brand alignment with the company, with you, with responsible banqueting, where, as you may mentioned about Coca-Cola bottles going, we in Accor, we need to measure every piece of wastage that gets out of the hotel, and why does it get out. So
And rightly so.
sourcing, yeah. So I think Accor is one of the companies which is the highest on sustainability. I cannot even use tea and coffee which is not fair trade. So that's the level of the stuff that we go. We can't use the pods because they are plastic. So we cannot. So there is a thought goes on each and every point of what we are doing. So even for guests, responsible banqueting is not a luxury anymore. It is the need of the hour. It is something that they want. And they're becoming conscious day by day. Bhuvnesh, they know better than us.
So my first port of call when I check into a hotel is the front office and the housekeeping on why I do not want my bed linen to be changed. Right? So most hotels know when this guy has come, he does not want his linen to be changed till he does not check
Does
out.
not ask for it. Yeah, absolutely.
I think we should not give the guest an option of changing the bed linen. They should call up and say, please badal do. Otherwise, nahi badli jayegi. Kyon, Amit? You're muted.
No. I think every hotel has a different way of doing it. So of course there is a sustainable card. What you keep on the bed, saying that if you want to change the linen, then you put the card. So there are different ways.
Absolutely. Do that.
Your way is more rough way of doing it, but yes, there are more different way of doing it. So yeah, and every hotel is doing it.
Absolutely. No, not every hotel is doing it. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you, not every hotel is doing it. Automatically they change it in the morning. So
But
not easy.
I think most hotels give you a choice. Like if you say that you once you have said it, I think they'll update your profile, and that becomes guest history for
Amir,
future.
सब जगह नहीं हो
Hmm.
सब जगह नहीं हो रहा. Acha, now my last question of the day, and that comes to my young friend Gaurav Apte. Gaurav, we've all had mentors who held our hand and brought us to where we are. We've all developed over a period of time. Tell me, as a mentor, what advice would you give young hoteliers aspiring to build careers, and especially in MICE leadership?
Firstly, thank you for calling me a young hotelier.
You are
So
young.
at least somebody
Look
is
at
not
me, the
fooled by
old
the
hag.
gray beard.
Look at me, the old hag, man.
No, but thank you. I think MICE leadership is one of the most dynamic and rewarding specializations in the F&B hospitality space. But it demands a lot of depth. So the first, which I always keep in mind is continuous learning. There is always scope for you to learn, and any leader who stays curious stays relevant is what I believe in. If you're
Agree.
not curious, you will not be relevant, and you will still believe in something which is very age old. So I think, like how technology is changing, there are standards that are changing, etc. So you need to be adaptable to those. The second most important thing is understanding the cross functionality in operations. So, be it, let's say, banqueting, front office, revenue, and even to an extent, AV or engineering. If you're not able to understand the depth of it, then it might lead to a little bit of operational challenges at every stage. And mega conferences, which are MICE events, test every single operational muscle. So you need to be ready for it. The third thing that I feel is, client management. As long as you are able to understand what the client needs or wants from you, what are the KPIs, what are the audience expectations, what is the brand positioning that particular client is wanting to make, I think then you are delivering on what is expected out of that MICE event. And the last, but the most important, and which I keep on asking all my F&B directors, banquet managers, is financial acumen. And
True.
most of the people think that, why is the GM asking me this? But it is extremely important because large events involve a lot of complex costing.
Oh,
So
yes.
unless you know the PNL, uh, you know, a lot of my staff keep on asking me, why does he keep on always demanding for a profit and loss of every single event? Because it is important. It helps you understand whether we are unnecessarily spending or whether we need to spend more. And it is very important to look at all costs, be it the technical production cost, banquet margins, be it the yield management of the banquet space, or be it just a ROI tracking to understand whether you've priced your conference well. And I think a great MICE leader thinks like a PNL owner and then delivers on it. So for me, I think MICE leadership is something where operational excellence meets strategic thinking.
No, I completely agree with you. But tell me, with all the general managers here, I don't want to go too further ahead in time, but do you operate with checklists?
Absolutely. So there is a pre-event
Like,
checklist.
have you ever
During
flown in a cockpit?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Have you ever flown in a cockpit?
No, I haven't.
All
I
right.
must have done a simulator game.
No. So in the cockpit, takeoff and landing and other situations, wherever there is trouble, the first officer starts reading and the pilot says, check, 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 check. So so that you don't fail any step,
Yeah.
So it's extremely essential that everybody knows each and every step along the way. Yeah.
True.
Thank you so much. So that brings us to the end of the show. Let me summarize my show today. I've had a wonderful one. Sorry, I was a little rushed. To all six of you, let me begin with Amit. He spoke on balancing corporate scale with profitability, and all this while he's in Chandigarh. He's launching a brand new hotel tomorrow in Mohali. Amit, best wishes. Let us know when it's done. We shall celebrate with you soon. And may you
Thank you,
own
Bhuvnesh.
new hotels.
No, definitely, anytime.
Rajesh spoke on the destination-led MICE growth. He's a big one down there in Kochi. You have to see his hotel to believe it. Shubhankar now in Hyderabad. He spoke on Hyderabad's convention evolution. He's there in that major catchment of Gachibowli and the Electronic City. Samirji, he's next to the airport. Great old hotel with solid reputation. He spoke on the airport hotels becoming event hubs. Neha, who's bang next to the Geo Center and in BKC, she spoke about emotional luxury in business developed environments. And Gaurav, he spoke on operational mastery behind mega conferences. What is really clear is India's conference economy is driven by precision, people, partnerships, and purpose. MICE today is no longer transactional, it's experiential, strategic, and deeply human. And that brings me to the close of this show. And I must thank Diversey for holding a hand, for bringing all of you together and these 24 to 36 episodes, which will be part of the season. They put their money where their mouth is. Thank you, Diversey. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Lady and gentlemen, let me begin with the lady of the show. Neha, thank you so much. Do well, succeed, and keep shining. And so does that go for Amit, Shubhankar, Samir,
Thank you.
Gaurav,
Thank you.
and Rajesh. I'm there 24/7 to back you up, to help you for anything that I can do. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being on the show. Before we go away, I'll take just 30 seconds with Diversey video.
At Diversey, we believe it is our mission to protect and care for people and their environment every day. Pioneering future-focused cleaning and hygiene solutions. Trust the experts to select the best hygiene technology matching your site's challenges and your sustainability vision. Diversey, your global partner for responsible hygiene solutions.
Last but not the least, thank you, Team BW and BW Hotelier. It's not easy to bring out these shows one after the other. They do a lot of back-end work, bringing in general managers to the schedule from their busy schedule. Thank you all for being there. Once again, Amit, Shubhankar, Rajesh, Gaurav, Samirji, and Neha, I'm grateful to you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for enriching this platform.
Thank you, Bhuvnesh. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Lots of
Have a
blessings.
nice evening, all of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you.